Clams sit in the sand, in the mud, and when they come out, they need to be washed. It's easy to do. Let me show you how. To wash clams, folks, it's very, very easy. I like to have a little trickle of running water. Take your clam, and then with the brush, scrub the shell, so if there's any sand or dirt on that shell, you will remove it. Okay, there we go. And there we have it. Beautifully, beautifully washed clams, at least from the outside. So, now for the inside, folks, what I'm going to do here, we're going to let them soak in some water. So I have a liter of water there. I'm going to add 3/4 of a tablespoon of salt to that water. You want some good salty water. Okay, I might need another liter, but I'm going to start off with this. Whoops, sorry about that. I'm going to start off with this 1 liter of salt water. In fact, I know that's not going to be enough. Let me get another liter going. Okay, another liter of water, which is about 4 cups. Okay, and another 3/4 tablespoon of salt. And we're just going to mix that in. Okay. And I see there's a little bit of salt still clinging here. I'll just add a little more water. All right. Now, quite simply, we take our beautiful clams. As I mentioned, these are little neck clams, which are great for pasta dishes. And in case I didn't mention it, I did get 2½ dozen. So here they are, just covered in that salt water. In fact, I'm going to add probably another ½ liter. So what we're going to do here is basically we're going to let them sit in that water for a ½ hour. Okay, add a little more salt water. Okay, they're completely covered in that salt water. And we're going to just let them sit here in that salt water. And what they're going to do, they're going to sense that they're sitting in the salt water, and they'll start to breathe. And as they do, they're going to inhale and exhale that water, and little bits of sand are going to come out, and they'll settle on the bottom of our bowl. So we're going to let them sit here for 30 minutes, and then after 30 minutes, we are going to remove the clams, change the water, give the bowl a rinse, and do it all again for another 30 minutes. So a total of 1 hour of soak time to make sure that we get all of those sand particles outside or from the inside of these clams out. Then they will be perfectly clean and ready for our pasta. Okay, we'll let them sit for 30 minutes. So what we're going to do now, it's actually been 35 minutes, okay? I let it go an extra 5, and I was going to mention 30 minutes is a minimum. You could go up to 45 minutes if you want, but you need at least 30 minutes in order for these clams to begin to remove some of the sand and soot from the inside. So I like to remove them nice and gently, one at a time. Okay, get them out so that you don't disturb too much of the bottom, because any of the sand is going to be on the bottom of the bowl, and that's exactly where we want it to be. Trust me, if you did not do this, you'll end up with little bits of soot and sand, grit, in your pasta. So it's very, very important that the clams are cleaned inside and out. Okay, and then you could, even with your hand, you could feel little bits of sand in there. Okay, so we're going to just, I don't know if you could even see that little bit of grit there. I wonder if I can just see if I can grab that. Most of it flushed out, but let's see. You can see that little bit of black on there? That would have been in the clams, and of course, more. I would have taken more out when I dumped it, but that's what you want to avoid in your pasta. Okay, so We give our bowl a rinse, of course. Make sure it's clean. And then quite simply, folks, we're going to do the same thing. It has actually been 40 minutes this time. And again, very gently, going to remove those clams. And I can see there's not as much sand this time, but there still is. Actually, more than I thought there'd be. Okay. So, that's good. That means our clams are now clean. So we're going to give them a rinse, just to make sure there's nothing clinging on the outside, right? Okay, and now we're going to go have some fun, folks. We're going to go cook.